One other bit of news that we can touch on was the MLB announcement earlier this week that they are have a new television deal for the next 3 years. And the reason it's everything is 3 years is they're planning for
Yep.
2029 to have all of their television and media rights up, free agency,
Right.
because they're hoping at that point that all the local television situations have been worked out so that as many teams as possible are sort of free agents that they can bundle them together. They can
Yeah.
offer all this stuff. They're
Yeah.
also obviously hoping that the CBA changes some things. But
Yeah,
that's why
we're
Major
not
League,
talking all 30 of the teams would necessarily have their expiration at 2028 because I think
right?
some of them own their own networks and so on. But as many as they can, they would be available after 2028. They've
Yeah,
been trying to line that up.
we'll see if there are such thing as networks in 2028.
Right. Yes, exactly right.
But in the meantime, they did a 3 year deal with three different entities here. One, ESPN, where they've had a relationship with it for 30 years, although that's significantly changing. We'll get to that in a second. The other one is Netflix. And what they basically have sold to Netflix is one opening day game featuring the Dodgers, uh, one home run derby,
Okay.
and then what was the third thing? There was some other
The
weird.
Field of Dreams?
Yeah, the Field of Dreams game, which the Twins are playing in against
Yeah,
your wife's beloved Phillies. So I'm
that is
assuming you'll be
correct.
there for that in Iowa.
I'm
So
hoping so.
the Netflix package is an interesting one, and apparently Netflix is paying, I say only 50 million a year for basically three kind of one-off events: an opening day game, the Field of Dreams game, which is a regular season game, and then the Home Run Derby.
Amazing.
Uh, Now, 50 million sounds like a lot, I guess, and it is, but that's less than $2 million per team,
Well, I
like in
guess.
terms of
Yeah,
additional
that's right.
revenue.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
okay, you just paid for Alex Jackson with that Netflix deal. Congratulations. And then the other
Right.
one that they sold to is NBC / Peacock, and they are taking over Sunday Night Baseball from ESPN. And then they're also getting some other things with their futures game, the draft, and some other regular season games too. Those deals I think are for like a couple hundred million a year. That deal,
Okay.
and then the ESPN situation where ESPN opted out of a $1.6 billion remaining on the contract with MLB, and now have given up Sunday Night Baseball, which now goes to the NBC side. But what they've gotten now, and it's interesting, they agreed to restructure the deal at the same price point, which is $1.6 billion
Wow.
dollars over 3 years. So clearly MLB said we need the exact amount of money that you just opted out from. But if you look
What can we give it to you
right,
for it?
and
Right.
what they
Yeah.
gave them was MLB TV. They just
Right.
gave them the whole
That's right.
thing,
That's right.
which seems like a lot more than Sunday Night Baseball. And so the reaction to that among Twins fans, and we talked about this going back months when this was a rumor, and it ended up playing out exactly as it was reported at the end of the season. But understandably, a lot of questions from Twins fans who are sick of having the way they watch the team change year
Right.
after year after year. And I get it. We're sick of having to talk about it, believe me. But we both talked to a Twins official right before this news became public a couple days ago. And what we were told, and we can only go by what we were told, obviously,
What was
is
emphasized over and over and over again
yes,
is that,
not from the Twins' perspective in terms of
and from
local fans' ability to watch local broadcasts. Nothing is changing for 2026. Now, I
right,
make no promises beyond 2026 because
right,
I suspect the reason ESPN did this is to force people to pay for ESPN. But for 2026, everyone's understanding is that you will not need to pay just to get the ESPN app and then need to pay for MLB
right.
TV or Twins.tv, same thing. The way I would
Which was
describe
somewhat
it,
the fear when the news broke that when the news leaked that Major League
yeah,
Baseball and ESPN were talking about something like this, a rights deal, a distribution deal for their baseball stuff and MLB.TV. The concern was, hold it. Does this mean everything's going to be different? We're going to have to switch to the ESPN app. We don't have the major MLB.TV, the MLB at bat app. Like, what does this mean? What does it mean? And what does it mean for TV as well?
right,
And the answer is for 2026 at least, it doesn't mean anything. It
right.
means right,
You can, if you watch them on cable, you
right,
can still watch them on cable. They'll
right,
have that standalone channel. If you watch them on satellite, which I do, they will still on DirecTV, it'll be 668-3 or whatever it was.
right,
That is staying the same. And if you watch them through twins.tv streaming, that will be the same. I would describe this, I guess, in a couple ways where if people are like, well, so what's the point of this? Well, I think for the future, the point is ESPN's going to start charging people, but we'll cross that bridge when they get there. For 2026, I would describe it as the Twins and 5 other teams have been under the MLB production umbrella for last year for the Twins, last several years for some other teams. And what that means is it's all the same graphics, it's all the same camera shots that MLB has on MLB Network, and it's if you watch the Guardians game, it's the same, kind of graphics package and looks and cameras as the Twins. What's really changing, it'll still kind of be under that production umbrella, but now in addition to being able to just buy it from MLB TV, it will also be for sale on ESPN shelves.
Right.
And ESPN is obviously hoping that because it's on our shelves, that'll get people to come into our store, and then maybe when they're in the store, they'll look around and want some ESPN stuff. Now, it would not surprise me 2 years from now or 3 years from now if ESPN started saying, okay, to get MLB TV for, let's say, $150 a year, or even just Twins TV for $129 a year, whatever it was.
Right.
First, you have to spend $150 a year or $100 a month, whatever it is, to get the ESPN app. Now, if that ends up being the case, that sucks.
Right.
That's a worse situation for Twins fans. But we don't have any knowledge of that other than, skepticism or cynicism.
And we should say, this is a 3-year deal. So, we know what 2026 is going to look like. We don't know what 2027 or 2028 is like. We really don't have any idea what 2029 and forward is going to look like. There's a part of the appeal of this deal.
Nobody does.
Major League. No, nobody does.
Because the CBA is there's going to be a lockout between now and then anyway.
Well, that's another good point as well. Yeah. I mean, part of the appeal of this to Major League Baseball was okay, we don't have to pull the rug out from all the people that had to go through, major changes in 2025 or 2024 in the case of the Padres and stuff when, some of those other 6 teams had to make the switch midway through the season. We get to have a deal that expires in 3 years. That's important to us because we want to try and shop around the same sort of thing that we've got with these 6 teams now with 16 teams or 18 teams or how many teams they end up getting, right? And we also get the same amount of money that we were going to get previously from ESPN for this. And so in the meantime, we've got a 3-year sort of moving target, for lack of a better word. But in 2026, it ain't moving much for Twins fans. So, and welcome to the end of this video. There's lots more. For another, just click on one of these boxes.
Or click on this circle in the middle to subscribe to all of our Twins Talk.
Thank you.
Gleeman.